Today is Wednesday, February 14th, 2024, and it's Valentine's Day. As Delta Mouse tweeted, let's put the romance back in necromancy. Welcome to our weekly cult meeting, Wizard Wednesday, channeling in from the Quantum Downs. This is the Black Goat of the Wood, Elf J Trul, and joining me is
the Orange Puppet Dotta, and we've also got up here
Jamie.
Ted Bader.
Hello.
Hey, Ted.
Hey, Jitsi and Ted. Yeah, Jitsi, we can hear you.
Nice. The mic works. I'm on desktop. I love it. I'm here.
And I love that we have Tad up here. Guys, we have gotten rid of Bearsnake, and Tad is taking his place. So yeah, you'll never see
Big Bear shoes to fill.
I don't know where Bear is, Dotta. Do you?
Yeah, me either. I don't know.
I never know. But I guess we'll do just fine. We actually have a lot of cult questions today, which is good because I really don't have any other updates. Dotta, do you have any updates, or Jitsi?
Oh, there's always plenty of stuff we can talk about, but let's get through the cult questions.
Let's do it. Okay, so Radagast, Urshan, and Human Resources, respectively, are asking when Runeverse, why Runeverse, how Runeverse. Okay, so when Runeverse. I mean, there is an event coming up. I wish Matto was here. He might be able to tell us when it is, but I don't know. Do you guys know when the next event might be?
We haven't announced the official date, but it is on order of weeks, but it's still a few weeks out. Still several weeks out. We're going to roll into a big campaign when we are about 4 weeks out, and we are not quite 4 weeks out, so it's a little more than that. So yeah, we'll keep you posted when we have the official date there.
Okay. Why Runeverse? Because it's fun, and because a full MMORPG is just a major component of proper franchise.
And Web3 crypto degens deserve an actual game that's fun to play, that you can use your freaking character in and build and level up and battle with your friends and fucking have a good time. What's up, guys?
There you go.
Hey.
Let's go!
Can you co-host us?
Yeah, hold on.
Talking with you guys in DMs. You didn't even tell me that Wizard Wednesday started.
Bear, you should just know.
I mean, we are 2.5 years in. I should just know, but I'm a spaz.
And also, I did put it in the Discord. so there's no
Stop bullying me. Stop bullying me.
Okay, and then finally, how Runeverse. I think you just have to connect your MetaMask, and that's it. Or your Rainbow wallet, your favorite crypto wallet. Just connect it. That's how. Okay, Dotta, this one's for you. Human Resources is asking, will there ever be free hugs for the shadows to claim?
No, there won't.
Well, not from Dotta at least, but I did send you, Human Resources, an ethereal, non-corporeal hug. So if you want that, I'll give them to anybody who asks. It's really easy to do. Just watch. Okay, I'm sending one to Jitsi right now.
Okay.
Jitsi, did you feel that?
Yeah, I did.
Amazing. Yeah, it's not difficult. It does take some skill, but yeah, just ask. All right. Okay. Urshan is asking, how are the comics doing as far as retail sales go? Bear, do you have any numbers on that? Do you want to share?
It's funny. We don't have exact numbers, but I will tell you, we are in the tens of thousands, and our publisher feels like it is a very, very respectful, or I should say, respectful launch. It's not 50 or 100,000. It's lower than that, but I think we're happy, and I just don't really want to report bunk numbers that aren't real. So it's shocking how long it takes to sort of get this info. I think Nalgene could lament with me how difficult it is like getting like real data and information, because the other part of it is, everybody who's wizard shows up in these comics, and that signed the licensing agreement is gonna get paid money, and I don't think it's gonna be like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, but they will get revenue based on the sales, and so we're trying to get that information so that we can calculate the licensing revenue for the holder. So I don't have exact numbers, but I know it's in the tens of thousands, which is good. Hopefully that suffices.
I think that's pretty good for like a brand new IP.
Hell yeah, it's pretty good. It's better than pretty good.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine like just, your standard comic book shopper, they go into the store and they see this brand new, unheard of comic. It's a brand new IP. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, those numbers sound pretty good to me. Okay, another comic question. Has the full series been completely written already, or is Riley combing through the book of lore for more Wizzies to feature? So first of all, Riley's not the writer. Riley is the artist. Joe is the writer. So he's the one who's been combing through the book of lore. But as to if the series has been totally written, it has. However, we might totally rewrite one of the issues, and we might do something very special and unique with this one remaining issue. So I don't want to say much more on that, but basically the whole arc has been written, basically. Okay, Ponyboy X is asking, can you give us a teaser of how many Athenaeum items are in play with the upcoming Warrior event? Will one Athenaeum item be able to make a difference, or will you need multiple sets, etc.? I don't know if we can say too much, but I mean, I will say the more Athenaeum items you have, I think it's better. I think that's all I really want to say right now, unless you want to say anything, guys.
I think more items make it more interesting and give you more options.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Okay. And then Human Resources asking, why is mustard the most important Athenaeum items for Wizzies and Cumberland Heroes? Human Resources, I don't know that it is the most important for Wizzies, but for Cumberland Heroes, it actually does sound like it could be very important, since half of those heroes are hot dogs.
I also love mustard, just to be clear. I'm a mustard guy.
Yeah. Tad, do you know if mustard is important in Cumberland Heroes?
I haven't seen it come into play yet, but I don't see why it wouldn't. It does go well with sausages.
Okay. Okay, and then he's also asking, is there any update on 3D Warriors? So, the 3D Warriors is a massive undertaking, and basically right now we're looking for a third-party studio to take it on. We might have a lead on that. But that said, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this now, but I'm going to put it out there anyway. I'm curious how the cult would feel if we made the 3D Warriors in a totally different style from the Wizards. Like if it was more of like a low res or low poly style that you would see on like PlayStation 1. I'm curious how you guys would feel about that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the options that we're looking at right now for the Warriors. I think that and we might even do it in-house if we do it like that. I think it's hard to visualize, and it might be a good idea for us to share some of our concepts. But I think doing the Warriors in a totally different style than the Wizards is a really fun idea. And there's some good prototypes that we have in the works that we should probably share.
Yeah. Okay, everybody in the Secret Towers, well, 4 or 5 comments are saying they it sounds like they're into that idea. But yeah, we could share some concepts. Okay, let's see. Okay, Bob the Builder is asking, any information about the quantum gift utility, the reveal date, and about rewards for the next Runeverse game event. Man, I wish Matto was up here. He would answer this better than I can. Dotta, I don't think we have any information on that, really, do we?
What was the actual question?
Do we have any information about the quantum gifts utility, when they will be revealed, and what kind of rewards are going to be in the next event?
So the quantum gifts have like cosmetic items. I think that some of them even had mounts. But I think, yeah, we're gonna wait for the actual event production to finish before we. I don't want to surprise people with what's in their quantum gifts, and I think, but yeah, you'll be able to open them and use them, and you're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yep. Okay, and then he's also asking, can we have more information about the two builders, Nail and Pound? So honestly, I have no idea who Nail and Pound are, but I know that like the lore guys at Bisonic, they've been bringing a lot of their own unique lore to the table in the game, and I think it's kind of fun. Like, there's definitely going to be a lot of overlap between lore that Magic Machine makes and lore that Bisonic makes. Nail and Pound are certainly a Bisonic creation, so I honestly don't know too much about those guys. So I guess we'll just have to wait. Okay, Snoop Dogg is asking, when do we see a media expression with the Chronomancers in it? Snoop Dogg, the comic actually has a very prominent Chronomancer in it. I'm not sure if he's been revealed yet, but he is definitely sort of core to the storyline in the comic. And then Snoop Dogg is asking, can we list somewhere which wizards in which comic? Can we get a list of which wizards are in which comic? Yeah, that might be a cool idea. I'm not sure where we would put that list, but I'm sure eventually one should come out. I mean, there's really
I don't want to like post that ahead of schedule.
Definitely not ahead of time.
No, not ahead of schedule. But that should all be on Wikipedia, right? Like Wikipedia has a link to every wizard, and there's no reason why every issue of Wikipedia can have plot characters, Easter eggs, all that.
Yep. Yeah, that'd probably be a good place for it. But yeah, I mean, only 2 issues are out right now, right? Right, Bear? Like, I think it's only 2.
Well, 2 are in stores, and the first 4 are the I'd say 3 and 4 are in pre-sale.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yep. So yeah. I'm sure we could probably update the Wikipedia with that information as the issues are dropped. Okay. Meeple Dad is asking, lore reading on Wizard Wednesday. I miss hearing Sharon and others read lore at the end of each weekly show. Right. Yeah, and then he says, can we enlist Tad Major to line up lore going forward? Hashtag back to our roots. Okay, so first of all, I think actually Sharon is going to read some lore today, and hopefully sing a Litho song. Secondly, Tad, how do you feel about lining up some lore readers?
Sure. Yeah, I'm definitely down to do that. Anybody that's listening, if you have some lore you want to share or are working on some that you want to share down the road, just get in touch. I'll start making a list. Yeah,
I mean, I will say, like, we did make a list long time ago. Like, we would schedule them far in advance, and then nobody would show up when it was their turn. Some people did, but most did not. So I don't even know if you want to schedule things in advance, Tad. I mean, maybe the best thing to do is just like DM Tad a day or 2 before Wizard Wednesday if you want to read. However you want to do it, Tad.
I feel like we're also due for some like lore incentivization. I know that there's a lot of people that kind of have ideas, or they've had it rolling around, or they've got drafts, and I think that there's nothing like a good incentive to help push people over the edge to kind of like make the time for it, right? I know that everybody has a lot of competing priorities, and so yeah, stay tuned for that.
Cool.
Could we take a moment and just talk about Tad for a second? And I know that we touched on it last week, but I just want to do a quick follow-up if that's okay.
You can talk about Tad.
We can do a slow follow-up. Yeah, please.
Let's talk.
How was your first week, Tad?
Yeah, Tad, how is it?
Yeah, it's great. There's absolutely no pressure at all being, any part of the Machine team. Everyone just totally accepts me. There's no pushback. Definitely also don't have a lot of people contacting me every day. So no, it's fantastic. Honestly, it's been really fun being kind of in a role doing some things that I already enjoyed doing, but doing them a little bit more intentionally and trying to not only just be a sounding board for people, but trying to like gather up some information that we can use in better ways going forward. So no, it's been really great, but yeah, it's a big task to manage and coordinate and try to juggle all the moving parts that we have both in any community and just Web3 in general. So yeah, it's gonna take some time to get my training wheels off, but no, it's great.
We had our first official weekly call today, which was really fun. Tad jumps on. He's like, I'm just about to get back to the house. My little dirt road. I just stopped by my pineapple guy. My pineapple guy. It's my favorite part of the day. And I'm like, I need a pineapple guy. I need a pineapple guy. I need my own dirt road. Like I'm trying to be Tad when I grow up. Honestly.
It is true. I mean, if you've got a Don Fernando in your life that'll drop off a really delicious golden pineapple to you on occasion, it does tend to elevate your days.
Something that just really quickly, just like some brass tacks about Tad and sort of what's happening. Obviously, like, Tad's mentioned, it'll evolve and, there's a ramp up period, but I feel like, we're not like super into like titles and all this stuff and a crazy like vertical org. But I think, you can think of Tad as a community lead. The reason I like this idea of like a community lead is it doesn't feel like it's just someone on the Magic Machine team. It feels like someone that has a foot in the community, is respected, all the things that we sort of talked about last week. That is the reason why I think, the community sort of hoisted you up, and then also has a foot in Magic Machine. And so I think one of the primary directives, at least right in the beginning, is to really like organize and communicate directly with like key cult builders and key cult members on sort of the upcoming projects that the cult is building, right? And I think so that means like, summarizing and communicating to us, what that project is, what are the components, what are the needs that they have for Magic Machine to help lean in the market, create a calendar, marketing material, so that again Magic Machine can help sort of promote as efficiently as possible, and also have the cult sort of talk about it, as much as possible and bring as much attention. So I think this idea of just like how Magic Machine typically looks at projects and internal projects, like how can we take some of that rigor and apply it to all the amazing stuff that the cult's building. I think that's like the number one thing. So if you are a cult creator, builder, I'm sure you've either talked to Tad or you will be getting DM from Tad. There'll be some sort of onboarding docs that will make it easy for you to fill out, so all the information flows smoothly. And I think it's a really great first step towards sort of establishing, your role, Tad, and making the most out of, what everybody's doing. So hopefully that suffices, and more than happy to, have discussions in the Secret Tower on Wizard Wednesday, about what people think Tad should be doing. But I feel good about that being the first step.
Yeah, and I really like to start there because I feel like a lot of what we came into this with is that we wanted to make sure that we're, really elevating and supporting our creators and builders. So I just thought it'd be, and Bear as well, it would be good to start by just getting a good gathering of all the community projects that have happened, and make sure that for people that are new, that may have not been around when they were initiated, or that have joined later on, just to understand some of the different things that happen, some of the things that might still be ongoing that they could still interact with, and then also to think about if there were ways that we could reopen some different projects or do things at special times or in special ways, or basically just to have a good coordinated way to be able to visualize all the different projects that we have out there. And of course, that will get us up to present day, and then we can work on being a lot more proactive about making sure that the team's aware of new launches and new things coming well ahead of time, so we can work that into better communication and better outreach before launch days.
I just really love that Tad is going to be attending Wizard Wednesdays on stage from now on. I think that's my favorite part.
I have a serious question for Tad.
Yeah, go for it.
What are the donuts like in the staff break room over there at the Magic Machine?
We don't know. Bearsnake eats them all before we get to our first break.
Buried them all.
Yeah, unfortunately, being where I am, I have great access to Don Fernando, but I do not have access to any sort of donuts. So the closest I get to any jelly donut or donut of any capacity is a pixelated version.
Or at the event, we've seen how you react around jelly donuts at the events, Ted.
Were you guys talking about me? I got rugged.
I would never speak about you while you're not here, Bearsnake.
Bear, I think you left to go eat donuts, right? Is that what happened?
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just swallowing this jelly donut whole. One sec.
See? That's why we don't get any. That's why we get nice things.
All right. Well, yeah. So glad to have you here, Ted. And feel free to just butt in anytime. I know I tend to talk a lot on Wizard Wednesday.
Yeah, cut Elf off anytime you want.
Anytime. Okay. All right, so let's see where I left off. Okay, here we go. Hinboyd is asking, okay, these are fun. We've got two questions about the lights, which is sort of the derivative collection of the shadows. Hinboyd is asking, what are the lore implications of the quantum lights appearing? And how do you envision them bringing balance to the forces of good and evil? Man, there's so many ways for, so many responses I have to this. First of all, I'm not so sure that the lights are good, and I'm not so sure that the shadows are evil. That's number one. Number two, I mean, the Lord. Listen, the Magic Machine did not create the lights project. It's one of our community members, I think. So I can't really speak for the lore they've built, but my impression, like the first thing I thought of when I saw the lights was, I thought it reminded me of this idea in quantum mechanics where every particle has an antiparticle, and when they meet, they cancel each other out. So I'm thinking what's going to happen is if you mint a light and you hold a light and a shadow in the same wallet, then you'll lose both of them. I think that's what's going to happen. So be careful about minting the lights. That's what I would say. But that's I think that's the only lore I can give you about the lights right now. If the Master of Light wants to come on Wizard Wednesday, the invitation is always open. And Givahoot is in fact asking, will we ever arrange a conversation between the ordinal shadows and the ordinal lights? I think that's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea, but we don't know.
We just don't know. But again, if Master of Light, if you're there and you want to talk to us, you're always welcome. Okay, I think that's all the questions, and we got through those faster than I thought we would. Oh no, wait, one more. Cosmic is asking if we could send a Valentine to any of the legendary wizards in the cult. Who would we send a Valentine to? Cosmic, you're basically asking.
That's a trap. That's a straight up trap question. I refuse to answer.
It's you, Cosmic.
It's like choose your favorite child.
Yeah.
But
Cosmic,
I have an answer.
I
do have an answer.
Okay, let's hear it. Yeah.
I would send my Valentine to Delta Mouse because I always enjoy Delta Mouse's content, and as far as I know, they don't even own a wizard. And for someone to devote that much time and energy to the cult and not even own a wizard, that's very impressive.
You said that today. Is that true? Can people confirm in the tower?
I think it's true. But yeah, I think Delta Mouse. And then I think I would send a box of chocolates to Cheddar B because Cheddar B always helps me. And those are my two picks.
I like this game.
I was going to pick Elf, but I guess I won't because he didn't pick me.
He wasn't, but that's all right. Continue.
Exactly.
Well, what are they, Bear? Now I want to go around the horn. I'm curious.
Yeah, come on. Give it a try.
I'm straight up not even getting involved in this conversation. I'm going to keep eating my bagels and go on mute.
Nor am I.
How
about one?
Let's hear it, Jits.
Jitsi, do you have a favorite? Do you have a? It's not necessarily a favorite. It's just who would you send a Valentine to?
Yeah, it instantly came into my head. I have no problem saying it. I would send it to Waz in a heartbeat.
To Waz? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
I hate you guys. I love Waz.
That's why I eat your jelly donuts.
I love the entire cult. I really do. But it's just that's who popped in my head at the minute I read the question, because I saw their tweet today about putting the romance back in necromancy. I thought that was really funny. Never heard that before. Totally original. And then also I was DMing with Chetta today, so maybe that's why I chose those two.
Wait, I know who I want to send my Valentine's Day to.
There you go.
I want to send my Valentine's Day to Jitsi's cow.
Oh, great.
That's not even a cult member.
You don't know that.
How do you know? If Jitsi does in fact have a cow in his backyard, I guarantee you that cow has a crypto wallet with a wizard in it.
That's probably true.
Stay strapped.
That's probably true. All right. Okay, I feel like I saw one more question, but I can't find it now. Oh, no, I found it. Justin is asking...
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Dotta.
I was going to say, I would send my Valentine to Reptar. Reptar has been really pulling the weight of 100 people in down. So, I'm actually going to talk about the DAO today, actually.
Dotta, if you're going to talk about the DAO, please find a better connection, because we can barely hear you.
Dotta.
And for those of you who didn't hear, I think Dotta said Reptar, because Reptar has been a DAO champion.
Yeah, he's a DAO Chad for sure.
Yeah, Reptar can have my Valentine too. I was amazed once I got on the council and saw how many things he coordinates and takes care of, and the DMs he had to send to, I'm sure, to every one of us to get even the things taken care of to get us on the council. He's a beast. He really takes care of a lot more than you might imagine.
Reptar, Dotta is going to send you an ethereal hug. Okay. Tad or Bridge, do you guys want to send a Valentine to anyone in the cult?
Tatters?
That's a hard one, but I'll just turn it back around and send it straight to Cosmic, because I think that she embodies a lot of the things about the cult. She's always super positive, and anytime I post some weird random bird that I find, she's always really keen to try to figure out what bird it is, and I think that's hilarious, and I kind of love it.
Bridge, what do you got?
I like that. I think Cheddar Bob has access to too many chocolates at work. So I got a little bit of a crush on Entropy lately. That guy's been making a lot of
facts.
Cool stuff. And after that is Waz. I'd give a Valentine to Waz.
Yeah, I feel you on the Entropy Valentine. That's definitely well deserved. The more I think about this, the more Valentines I want to send out, but then I'll be just handing them out the whole space. So I'll stop.
Yeah, it's dangerous. It's like the classroom situation.
That's what I'm saying. Like
walking around.
Go ahead, Bridge.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're on the same page. It's like people used to do that. They used to, all the kids walk around and give out Valentines on different people's desks. Like, oh my gosh, the poor guys with no Valentines on their desk. It just wouldn't. Does that still happen?
Yeah, well, I remember there's like this age my kids got to. Your kids are still quite young, but there's this age in elementary school. I feel like it's in like second grade around. And it's like either you're bringing Valentines for everyone or no one, and that's it. And maybe they even like stopped it altogether. So if we're gonna do Valentine's,
just learning really early.
Yeah, if we're gonna do Valentine's Day, we should figure out a way to scale so everybody feels loved.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Justin is surfacing a question from Hen Boyd, which is actually a very good question and something I've been thinking about a lot. He's asking, what does the Forgotten Runes theme song sound like? Is it Star Trek, Halo, Star Wars, Star Trek Voyager, Generations? Hen Boyd, this is a great question, and I've been wanting somebody to make like a Wizard Wednesday theme song that I can play at the beginning of every show, so that I don't get knocked for using copyright music. But we like 2 years later, we still don't have one. And if any of the musicians out there are interested in making one, please take a stab at it. As far as what does it sound like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think it sounds any sort of Star Trek themed. But I also don't know. Bear, you're kind of a musical guy. Do you got any takes on this?
Kind of. I'm just kind of. Drummers aren't musicians, bro. I'm sick of hearing it. No. Do I have thoughts on it? It's really difficult. Yeah. I think it brings me back to when we were trying to decide who was going to play the party at NFT NYC. It was like, okay, like what do the Wizards want to hear? And honestly, it's almost an impossible question to answer.
Yep.
It's very easy to slide into, the typical sort of fantasy orchestral vibes, but like the Runeverse isn't just like this medieval fantasy thing, right? It's like a mashup of future and past, and so I don't know. I think you need like a true like music alchemist to like make something that has all these elements.
You're absolutely right, Bear. I mean, my personal bias goes towards like 80s synth music because there was like a genre of fantasy filmmaking in the 80s that used
Dark Crystal.
Yeah, exactly. A Never-Ending Story and Labyrinth and and they all used it like this unique sort of fantasy,
like The Last Unicorn.
Yeah, fantasy 80s synth, which is like it looks to the past, but it also sounds futuristic.
Yeah, I like that. My theme was thinking like intros and outros to battles in Final Fantasy. Like if I was looking for inspiration, I would go like the video game music from the 90s.
That's fun for sure. Yeah, so any musician out there, take a stab at it. Okay, I'm trying to see if there's any more questions in the secret tower, and I don't see any. Okay, Dotta, do you have a good connection now?
Give me like 5 minutes.
Okay. Jitsi, take the floor. What do you got?
Oh gosh, what do I have? Well, I guess I can give an update on something. We're working right now on putting together 2 maps in Nifty Island that we're working with some really great map creators that we know from a team over at Vipe. People probably know Vipe. I'm a big believer in them. I think I've been talking about them for a while now, and they do a lot of good work over Nifty Island, and we've gotten together and we're making some stuff right now. So I don't want to put a date on it, but probably a week from now, you'll have 2 maps that you guys can play that are very in tune with Forgotten Runes and has some game design elements that I thought of, and it should be fun. And I'll play, and whoever wants to play, ping me because I like games. Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, hold on. You said you're working.
Game?
So there'll be. I guess we can go into detail on it. It's like not a surprise.
Yeah,
or anything,
break it down.
Yeah. So like there was the mindset was this is that I wanted to push something forward that was going to be playable and repeat value. Right after playing Nifty Island for a little bit of time, there were some game modes that I felt that were very much better than the others. The 3 that I landed on were actually just a death match normally, which was going to be like a 1v1 type of aim map scenario that we kind of like got rid of because we're only going to go 2. So the top 2 were actually capture the flag. In my mind, it's 2v2 or 3v3. And then the other one's going to be a jump, one of the jump obstacles, right? Because I think one of the ones that I've enjoyed the most so far, and I've played personally for hours, is these jump obstacles that come up with like creative movement as you go to the top of something or wherever you put the checkpoints. But I played, I think it was Doodler's one for about 3 hours straight. And I realized really quickly that Nifty Island has one thing that's really great. It's their movement. It's very consistent, and you have different layers to it. So we're going to have 2 maps, one around capture the flag, one around a jump obstacle. Won't give all details away, but I think they both will be proven to have people playing for hours, and then hopefully maybe we can make some more in the future. But just try to build something that has like a lot of replay value that people can enjoy. The settings are to be determined. I'm going right now over to like the map You'll probably recognize the map because we're pulling from like a really old school map with some extra elements to it. But I'm gonna go over kind of like where the upgrades land, and that's being like thought of as well. I want it to be something that feels like unique enough, but not to where you just have like every single upgrade right when you spawn and stuff. So just putting time and thoughtfulness into it so that people can have fun with something. That's from us. Yeah, nothing much else there. Just decided to play and see if people enjoy it.
I love that you're leading this particular project, Jitsi. I mean, Jitsi is sort of the game master at Magic Machine, so it's in good hands.
Thanks, bud. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It was kind of it comes out naturally, so I'm happy to get feedback when we get to it, and maybe if we ever get to a third map or something, we change it up. But thanks for the kind words, bud.
Hell yeah, man. Acid Eater, I see that you have entered the chat.
Sup, Acid?
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Hello.
Okay?
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Acid?
I just have some DAO announcements. I don't know if you still have like a few minutes before Dota's ready for whatever you guys are doing next.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe we'll wait. Okay, wait, here comes Dota. Yeah. Hold on.
Let's do the DAO announcements.
Yeah, hold on. Let's let Dota. Dota, you there?
Dota.
Oh, sorry, I just reconnected.
Okay.
There he is. Dota, Acid's up here. We're gonna do DAO announcements. Is that cool?
Of course.
Let's do it.
Sweet.
Cool. Okay. So I think I'm just kind of going to go over the minutes really quickly. I think that's like the most important thing that we do. And so the first thing on there was the Magic Machine reimbursement. We're still waiting to reimburse them for a bunch of the legal fees and all of the setup fees and stuff with that. So some things have been signed, some things have not, and we're waiting on the last signature for those things and waiting for things from legal. So that's just kind of a thing that is there and going on. The next thing was the survey. So the council put out a survey on the 9th, and it's gotten a few submissions. We would love to see more. The link for the survey is under the House of Wizards channel in the Discord. If you go to the DAO announcements, the link for the Dino survey is from the February 9th announcement. So you can go right there and find the survey there. We can also maybe post it in the Secret Tower at some point, maybe after I get off of here. Or you can find it on Twitter. There's the Forgotten Council Twitter page, which is at FRWC Council. And then I also retweeted it. Reptar is going to go through the submissions we have so far and kind of put together a summary for all of us to look at and see what community input you guys have and how we can move forward with what the community wants to see instead of just kind of like us being closed door behind meetings. We want so much more community involvement. The next thing is the proposals. So we opened the proposals back up and we have gotten 3 so far. I think the proposals, I think we're closed for like taking in new ones. We're kind of at this 10-day discussion period where we're going through the proposals that we have gotten. And we're going to host a Twitter Spaces tomorrow, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern to talk with Brennan will be there. Brennan's doing the Legacy of the Secret Tower board game. He's been working on it with the Pixel Shop. And then Bill Gaines will be there. He's been working with Shadow on an art project to convert your pixel art wizard into a hand-drawn portrait. They've been sharing that art for a while. But you can also go into the Discord. If you go to the Forgotten Runes Discord and look under the House of Wizards channel, there's also the proposals subsection posts. I'm not sure what it is. There's like so many different icons. But there's a proposal subsection that you can look in and find all of the current new proposals. They have tags and everything, and it's well organized that you can look through and comment on. And we would love feedback on those. So yeah, tune into the Twitter Spaces tomorrow. Fabula probably will not be there because he's traveling. Fabula is doing a D&D campaign I'm not totally up to date on that one, but yeah, it's in the proposals channel, and he might be on a Twitter Spaces early next week to talk about it.
Amazing. Yeah, Shadow's art is so fun. Those like side profile images of the wizards is really great. Are any of those on chain yet? Do you know? I don't know if you know the details there.
No, they are not.
Okay, yeah. And so I think, yeah, part of the issue there is we're trying, not even issue, but like part of the plan is we're trying to figure out the best way to do that, whether it's, a grant funds the tokens which go to wizards or whether there's some sort of mint there, right? I think all those plans are still kind of up in the air, but I think the art is really good.
Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully, like, the point of the discussion thing tomorrow, it's more than just like the authors are coming on and talking about their proposal. If people have questions about them or they want to give real-time feedback and have a real-time discussion, the space is there and you can hop on and talk to the author if you want to.
Do you want to talk a little bit about like the legal status of the DAO and when we'll be able to like give out proposals and all of that?
I don't know if I specifically know that information the best because we're waiting on because to do the reimbursements even for the old proposals, we're waiting on a whole like we have to do the service agreements with authors before we can give out the money. So there's like, the proposal has been approved and the community wants it and everything, but the legal side, they want more like set terms of expectations and stuff like the actual service agreement. And so legal is getting back to us with that. And I think once we get that and we can fill out the service agreements, then we can start like really moving forward with that. So hopefully all of that can get done in this time that we're doing this new proposal process. We wanted to get done. We wanted to have this done like a month ago. I remember Reptar saying he wanted things paid out a while ago, but it's been the legal team that's been holding up the whole service agreement thing because it was their idea and they're like, we insist that it gets done. So that's
Yeah,
been
but
the
thankfully the agreement that they're putting together is will be templatized, so the majority of times that we have to do sort of agreements within a certain financial bounds, we'll be able to reuse what we have and just kind of like add an appendix for the specific work. So it should be kind of like a one-time cost that we don't have for a long time.
yeah. And hopefully from here on out we can I think the goal, I don't know if the council has like set this in stone or if it's in the bylaws anywhere, but I think the idea is to have round of proposals monthly ish. And if we can get things passed through that quickly and done that quickly, then I don't know, I think that would be awesome. But yeah, that's just it for right now. Oh, that was the proposals. They are all there. The next thing on the minutes, last two things, I'll wrap it up. It was just the council makeup. The council currently with Tad's like well, it doesn't really matter. There are currently 4 members on the council that are employees or contractors. So that's not a majority. There are 9 people on the council. So we just discussed whether it creates too much decentralization or if has the team members have the bandwidth to fulfill their roles as counselors. Everyone feels comfortable that they do. We discussed more about just the next thing on the minutes was increasing efficiency and effectiveness. So we just talked more about how we can get more done. How can we be more communicative with each other? How can we be more efficient, be more task oriented? How can who can really take the lead and who can delegate and who's really good at being delegated to? And how do we, work more effectively together and kind of set up the whole structure of all of that. So we discussed committee updates. So the council, we all have none of us really have official positions as far as anything goes, but we did come up with little committees. Those are on the Notion page. I don't have them in front of me right now, but there's the communications committee, the marketing committee, the fundraising committee. So we've kind of split up into these different task forces, and a few people are in them, and we're going to try to meet more frequently within those little spaces and get more tasks done because we figured that would be more efficient than everyone trying to do everything, right? So and then just more involvement as far as communication, being in spaces, communicating more on Twitter, more in the Discord, probably promoting more of our links and everything that we're doing, because there is a lot going on right now and we want people involved, and the year is just getting started. So hopefully we can make 2024 an awesome year for the DAO.
That is such an aggressive noise. Thank you, Acid.
That's too much.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Acid.
Yeah, Acid is.
Yeah, for the
I just real quick, Acid, is this the first time you've been on Wizard Wednesday? I can't remember the last time you were here.
It was probably for the babies, or maybe like Wizstock.
Yeah. Okay.
Would have been
Okay.
2022.
All right. All right. Well, welcome back.
Thank you. I might be here more frequently if I do the DAO updates. I am on the
Yeah.
communications committee, but there's also,
Please.
I think, Tad and Jitsi are there. But yeah.
Great. Great. Sorry. Go ahead, Dotta.
and just as a reminder for everyone, the House of Wizards DAO is designed to be a DAO by which the Forgotten Runes, like character tokens, are the voting members. And it controls a treasury that was, designed to be for community art and for progressing the brand of Forgotten Runes and for funding these community projects that a lot of the times just require money, right? They're of a substantial size that require funding. There are times people could do little pieces of art, or that an individual can fund a commission, and those maybe range in like hundreds of dollars. And then there are times where, like, let's say Magic Machine, or we've seen with like Loxley Labs, or some of these like bigger companies actually require, or like Bisonic even is. There's a huge company that's required to like make a project, and the House of Wizards is designed to be something that's sort of in between, right, where there's something that requires funding, like we've seen video games and board games, and I won't be surprised to see food packaging and all this. And so that's really the point of this DAO. I think it was funded originally by the Wizard Babies project, which, like, under its announcement was that, like, the money would go to this DAO for this purpose. It was also funded by the Beasts auction, which again was also promoted as a percentage of those funds going to this organization. But since then, right, I think that was all around ETH. I don't know exactly, but let's say $4,000. ETH is now back, well, dumped pretty hard and is back at whatever 27. And so while the House of Wizards DAO has funding, it has funding to like keep itself going for a while. It's on everyone's mind, sort of like, how do we think about funding this organization for the long term? One of the big questions, even with the DAO itself, is something like, to what degree should we be focused on issuing grants for projects that earn revenue back to the DAO versus issuing grants that are like sort of art for art's sake or just for the culture, right? And I don't think that that's actually a solved issue. I think that we even have like, it's not exactly clear kind of like what the charter of this is. Is it supposed to be in its own self-interest and like a profit-making machine, or is it just community-oriented or somewhere in between? And so, I think everyone listening who cares about being able to fund those endeavors should be thinking about ways that we can do fundraising for the DAO. I mean, I think, one of the obvious answers is like, well, Magic Machine should foot the bill and give the DAO some funding, and like whatever, we'll talk about that. And there are some ways that we might be able to help out when the moment is necessary. But I think ultimately, for like, Magic Machine has our own expenses and our own responsibilities that we are doing to move the brand forward as well. And so I think there's an important aspect around like creating projects that help the DAO be self-sustaining, and can kind of have this like basically become this decentralized organization that ends up being a partner hand in hand with Magic Machine, right? Because ultimately we're trying to build a decentralized brand, but like Magic Machine is owned by me and Elf and Bear, right? And so how do we make sure that we set up something for long-term success for the project? So really, really thankful for everyone who's done the work there, and I'm really excited to see how that organization grows.
The only thing that I'll add to that, we put the survey again into the Secret Tower. Like, this is a great opportunity, as we're just now getting up and running again, to share your opinions, to help us do the things that the cult wants us to do, and please participate. We really need we need people to put eyes on proposals, and it's not just about like, yes, I like this, or no, I don't, or I'll vote this way. There's a lot of really intelligent people within our group, and having people leave constructive feedback and maybe help generate some new ideas around it are going to give us a better chance for these proposals to be successful. So I know there was a long break between the excitement about forming the DAO and us finally getting to the point where we're established legally and we can use those funds, but really invite everyone to try to take a little bit of bandwidth and see what's going on, and just help us do the best with what we have here, because it's a really cool opportunity to use some funds to really get some community projects up and going.
The DAO has been something that I have totally stayed away from, and from the outside, it looks like a total nightmare to get started. But I think like now that it's almost on rails, I think it's going to be an amazing organization. I really like what Dotta said about how the DAO is kind of, I mean, there's like tiers of cult content, right? Like there's stuff that people can just make and they post on Twitter, and it's just a fun post that you put on social media. And then on the other end, there's these huge things that Magic Machine makes, like the game and the show and the comic and all that. And then the DAO can be like somewhere in the middle of that. If you want to create something that needs funding, that's what the DAO's for. So yeah, I think I'm really excited to see what comes from the DAO. And yeah,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dotta.
One of the things that maybe changing topics a little bit. One of the things we wanted to talk about last week is Farcaster. Do you guys want to talk about Farcaster? Some people were asking about it last week.
Go for it.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So Farcaster is basically a new app that I think everyone here should try. It is you can think of it as like Twitter, but one of the really cool things about it is that the accounts are actually backed by crypto and linked to Ethereum addresses, right? And it's designed in such a way that it can be multi-chain, right? It can be on Base, it can be on Zora, it can be on like really lots of different chains. So this is like Dota's alpha or whatever. I encourage everybody to sign up for Farcaster and at least check it out. It's been around for a long time. I've been there for a while, and for a long time it wasn't really clear exactly what you would do there, right? It's like, why would I spend any time on Farcaster when like all my audience, my friends are on Twitter? There's a couple reasons. So one, the main thing is that it's reached a bit of a critical mass, right? There's a lot of crypto Twitter people there, and there's definitely some life. It's The other part is that it's built to be a little bit more developer friendly. I don't know how many of you used Twitter, like whatever it was, 10, 12 years ago. Twitter actually had a very open API. Tons of people were building on it. That was like one of the ways that Twitter was bootstrapped early on, was that like developers would build on Twitter all these really useful utilities. And as they grew and they kind of had their competitive advantage, they closed all that down. But Farcaster is having a resurgence in that like there's a lot of people building on top of it. One of the things that you see people creating these days is called frames. You can think of frames almost as like when you see an image inline in your Twitter feed, they've actually just added buttons to it, right? So like a Discord app, like how like if you like verify with Collabland or something, or like you react with emojis on Discord, it's sort of like in your Twitter feed there's buttons. But what's cool is that it's linked to your wallet, and so you're actually able to just like you're just like browsing, and someone's like, oh, do you want to mint this NFT that I have? And you can just click mint, and then now you minted it, and it's like straight in your wallet. And so it's this really like fun. It's a really fun experience, right? It's way nicer than kind of, oh, I have to go and connect my wallet, and I don't know if I'm going to get hacked, and like I gotta like type my password. It's like, no, it's just you're in the feed. Somebody retweets and says like, I just minted these. You click the button, and now you just minted it. And so I think if you're an artist, there's an interesting opportunity for like minting art, right? Like it reminds me of kind of like the Tezos ecosystem in that way. There are people like you can do metrics now for airdrops where you're like people who hold this token or they have this many followers or have like this kind of on-chain reputation, right? Like Alalis is such like a toxic, not toxic, but like allow us to have such a lot of bots, and like it's hard to find people that are real people. And so like Farcaster has tools where builders can find out people that are like actually real humans, like connected to your social graph, and they have like on-chain proof. So I just see that there's a lot of interesting things happening there. Another thing is that the community is not as maybe like mercenary as Friend Tech, right? You probably could build Friend Tech on Farcaster. Actually, we've talked about it, but um, it's not as like money driven actually as Friend Tech, and so for better or for worse, I don't know. It's a crypto project that is allergic to money, so maybe that's like self defeating up front. But in any case, I just can see that there's going to be some big ideas that are like launched there, that happen there. Some coins have launched already, so I don't know, recommend it. We have a Wizard channel over there. It's FRWC. Nisky started it. Wizards are posting in it almost every day. People have played out with wizard frames, like find like shop for your floor wizard, and people are doing like cool AI generated quests. So, whatever. I'm always really interested in what's kind of like the nascent emerging platform, and I can really see Farcaster. Like it's not perfect, and not everyone is there yet. It's still experimental, but I've really enjoyed my time there. Any Farcaster people want to come up and talk about it?
So, Dotta, are you saying that we're going to do a Farcaster exclusive character collection?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Forgotten Farcasters. No, probably not.
Okay.
But I was working on like a way that you can like read lore, like in a Farcaster frame over the weekend, and I didn't finish it. But the idea is you can like if when you paste a character, here's like an idea, right? When you paste the URL of a character on Twitter, it shows the character's like photo and then their name. On Farcaster, it'll show their photo and their name, and then there's a button under it like next page, previous page. So you can actually like explore the character and stats about it like straight like within your feed. So it's really fun. I don't think we've seen all the cool stuff that can be built there yet.
Yeah, I'm on Farcaster. Follow me if you can find me. I've barely used it, but follow me anyway. Dotta, you're probably way more active on there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I should probably tweet more on Twitter, but I like it. It's fun. There's lots of fun stuff.
Anyone else on stage? Are you guys on Farcaster?
I'm a huge Farcaster guy. It's no big deal.
I'm not sure if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I was rugging for a second. Can you guys hear me? Okay, great. Yeah, the thing that I found fascinating about it is that like Twitter brands itself as the everything app, but it's really just a social engagement app and timeline and really limited features. But Farcaster feels like it could be an everything app in the way that it comes right out and says this is a decentralized platform building app that like it's very much open to builders to start to create modular applications in their particular profiles. So it's hard to talk about because there are so many possibilities already, and like it's just kind of starting to blow up, and the possibilities are starting to blow up. But it feels like it has so much more potential than a lot of these other apps. It also feels like an advanced app in comparison to Twitter. Like right out the gate, it seems like it's geared towards advanced users. Yoda?
That's so, yeah, and like there's been so many Twitter competitors. There's Blue Sky, and then there's Threads, and there's like just tons of other attempts. And yeah, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it, but Farcaster has tried, or Warpcast in particular, has done a lot of things right. I don't feel like it's overrun with spam. Um, I think the worst I can say about it is that like it's just Ethereum tech people right now mostly, and so it's not like social networks are so hard because you have to get that critical mass, right? And so they just barely have the starting of like a community, and I think that's really the biggest risk is it's just like people don't move over because people don't care about decentralization, something like that. And so that's why I think that like adding these new features to be this, like you say, everything app Um, even for me, when I support decentralization, it wasn't enough to overwhelm the fact that like I didn't have an audience there. But once you kind of provided this extra utility, which is something like, well, you might be able to mint new stuff and build new like crypto apps that are like easy to use in this new UI. That was enough to be like, okay, I'm ready to try this out. And then now everyone else is too, so you have a community there.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
echo that.
Go ahead,
I've
Ted.
only been on there for maybe 3 weeks myself, but I found it really interesting. The lack of a huge social network is probably the shortfall, as Dotta was saying, but there's so many like interesting things going on with the tech, and my profile on Twitter for whatever reason is constantly search banned or shadow banned, and it's people can't even find me to tag me. And so for me, I really see the utility of not having this sort of centralized agency that can just totally cut off someone's mouthpiece. And I pretty much use this for my Web3 outreach anyway. I don't really use it for I don't use social media outside of Web3 and trying to stay connected to those people and those sorts of themes. So honestly, for me, I've not found that I miss a lot, but mostly just the lack of a fully fleshed out community, and there's just not as many people there yet. So there's things that you wouldn't find there, but the interface is really great. It's really interesting. I like the frames. I minted tons of cool little art on base for like $2 for little random things, which is interesting. And you know, it gives you some on-chain footprint for some of these different chains that may or may not have stuff coming down the road. You know, I think it's an interesting tech to check out. I would, as Dota said, I would encourage you to at least dip your foot in, just see what it is. And the little wizard group's definitely fun. It's going to be growing in time, so hopefully that becomes even more useful.
Amazing.
Very cool. Okay, well, it's almost time. Is it time for the Chronicle?
I think so. Yeah. Unless somebody's got anything else.
Oh wait, actually,
I'm good.
before I do that, Tad, I just wanted to give you a minute. Is there any community projects that we've missed that you just want to quickly mention?
There's nothing new that's come across my desk this week. The only thing that I'm playing around with a little bit still is the Heroes of Cumberland has the food fights that are happening right now. Those are still really fun. It's I would encourage some people to get in there. It's going to be ongoing. I know he's trying out a few different mechanics and shifting some things up. So definitely come check that out. Yeah, that's the one for the week.
Okay, that is awesome. I didn't realize he was calling it food fight, which, man, who doesn't love a good food fight? That's
I
great.
might have made that up, but it does work really well.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Speaking. Okay. Well, this is week 56 of the Cult Content Chronicle, compiled by
The illustrious Tanya Del Rio. Say it,
Tanya
yeah,
Del
let's say it together, baby. We love each other. Woo!
Okay, next time I want every person on stage to say that part.
Ooh, I like that. Let's try to do that.
All right, week 52. Okay, yeah. So speaking of Farcaster, we've already got some people minting on it. And DAO or DA0X Lab or DAOX Lab has minted a Valentine's Day wizard image. And then a really dope Shadow Hats image. Man, I really like that Shadow one. So yeah, I think those are available on their Farcaster account. And then Yumi Arts NFT also, I think. Actually, I don't know if this one's on Farcaster, but it is an ordinal light and shadow combination, I guess, piece of artwork. And it's super cool. I really love the Ordinals Lights project. It's like the shadows needed that to exist. I mean, you can't have the shadow without the light. I'm so glad someone made it. Okay, and then yeah. Speaking of, everyone is buzzing about the Ordinal Lights, and it looks like, you know, honestly, I don't know too much about the exact details of the project, but apparently there's a portal, and apparently it's open. And I don't know if that just means the Discord is open, but the Discord is open. So go check that out. And then Bearsnake, did the mallet make something for you?
The mallet?
Yeah, it's like it looks like a physical.
Oh, you mean the tiles? The tiles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So, they made a bear snake head, and apparently, it's the word on the street is it's supposed to get delivered today. So I'm like, I'm waiting
Nice.
for that to arrive. But it is so cool. That's actually how we first met. Is they reached out and we were like talking about doing something just for fun with the bear head, and then it sort of turned into that contest where people won. So yeah, I love it. I love that style, like bringing pixels IRL. I think just really there's something really cool about it. So excited to hang it on the wall.
Yeah, I really want to know what the little pixels are made out of. Like, is it wood? Is it plastic? What is
I
it?
think it's plastic. I think it's a kind of like poly, some kind of plastic mix. I can go back and check my DMs because it was actually one of the first things that I asked, because they
Okay.
almost look like little clay tiles, don't they?
Yeah. I'm super curious. All right, report back next week. Okay, Solo Pops continues making magic with his AI generated videos. Bear, we announced that we've got a film deal with Solo Pop Studios, right?
Solo Pop Studios and Magic Machine have signed a 6-picture deal, and I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah. But this one they Solo posted yesterday was not part of that deal. Solo's got a lot of films coming out. And this one is like it's basically it's a conflict between the Red Capes the Red Capes and the Black Dragon Society.
Sounds like a breach of exclusivity to me. We're sending the lawyers.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be amazing? The day that Magic Machine starts suing Wizards in the Cold. That's when we'll know we've gone corporate.
Oh, yeah, no, we will never do that. I'll sue
We
myself.
will never do that.
I will sue myself first.
Yeah,
I don't
I'll
even know if
sue
that's
Bear
possible. Yeah, we'll just start suing everyone. I'm gonna sue my mom.
Sounds like fun. All right. Okay, moving on. Marco Fine has made 2 awesome pieces, especially this one with this little like imp practically leaping off the page, as Tanya said, and indeed he does. He's got like a little shadow. It's kind of an optical illusion. Super cute. And then there's a really awesome one of Dad Judicator's Zombie Soul. Tanya, I think that's a revenant, not a zombie, just to be clear. Okay, and then Daniela Illustra is shared another work, 2 works in progress actually. One of a wizard and one of Sharon's. I think that's Sharon's Warrior. Yeah, I think it's Sharon's Warrior. Super cool. Justin, Other Guide Pro, put out another big Runeverse video that just sort of lays out the game development. Man, Justin's one of the best video creators in the cult. So go check that out. Ijin Dark shared some really cool trading card renditions of characters from Forgotten Runes. Yeah, these are actually really cool. I was looking at these the other day. They're so badass. I love all the text that is overlaid on these characters. I mean, it almost looks like some kind of game. But yeah, I'm not sure if it actually is a game. Okay, and then Clooney the Rat shared a really great build that they made in Nifty Island. Clooney, this build that you made has really caught the attention of a lot of people, including the Nifty Island team themselves. They shared it with us in the Discord because they love it, and I was very proud because I replied with, "Yes, our wizards are builders." So super cool. Ozma Bro shared a sketch of a work in progress. I am guessing that this is a hand holding either a shadow crystal or one of the scree shards from the Goblin Town game. It could be either. Meeple Dad continues to post his daily riddles from the Athenaeum collection. Meeple Dad, I love that you're doing this. Apparently, this is day 44. This is the 44th riddle. I mean, what a streak. So well done. Heroes of Cumberland is continuing with the food fight. And it looks like it'll be open for, it's a beta test that'll be open for 2 more weeks. And then finally, the Magic Monday News live from the Obsidian Tower, episode 44, with the special guest was the mysterious figure behind the ordinal lights. So man, go listen to that if you want to see if you can figure out who that is. It's no one from the Magic Machine team, I'll tell you that. And the treat of the week was the Book of Eggs. And I think that's it. Guys, did I miss anything?
It's a great show. It's a great show today.
It was a good show.
Great show
I would
today.
add the Ordinal Lights, the Master of Light used a voice modulator. I listened in on that, so it's a little sneaky to try to figure out who it is. It was hard. And one other thing I forgot to mention that Bill just brought up, the Black Sand races are going to be back on. So he said look for that. It could be starting Monday if everything goes according to plan.
Fantastic. Okay, we have, I think, Sharon, are you in the audience? I want you to come up and give us a bedtime story before we go. Yes, Sharon, you're there. Sharon, if you can hear me, please come up. I'll give it about a minute. Hold on, let's see. Yes, here, I think she's coming. In the meantime, Keegan, I see that your hand is up. Do you have a question, comment?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, no, just
Hey.
hope you guys are having a great day. Just wanted to come up here and kind of give you a shout out and just, just appreciate everything you guys are doing and building. You guys are always here regularly and very consistently putting stuff out. And I share your stuff as much as possible on my show on Tuesdays. And I was sharing something yesterday, and I didn't know all the details, so I kind of just wanted to ask a question about it. I see you briefly touched on the quantum lights. I just wanted to know a little bit more about that. Like, is that kind of just like a piece of the storyline and how it's connected to the Shadow Hats, or what's it all about?
Yeah, it's nothing that our team made. It's a community-driven derivative project. I mean, Forgotten Runes actually has a ton of community-driven derivative projects, if that's the best term to use. But the lights is just yet another one. So honestly, I personally don't know a whole lot about it.
Yeah, so I can give some context to that, which is like, early on in this project's life, like let's roll all the way back to like summer and fall of 2021 with Cool Cats and Baby Cool Cats. Someone created a Baby Cool Cats collection. It was adorable and amazing. And already then, I don't know if Nouns was out then, but you for sure had like the punks ethos of this idea that like it's the mimetic sharing of our ideas that reinforce the ideas, and it's this antithesis of kind of the copyright holder's mindset, which says like you used my idea and I better get mine or you can't use it, right? It's the opposite, which is like we're trying to create an imprint on the world, and so the more people that are like doodling Mickey Mouse on a napkin, the more powerful Mickey Mouse becomes. And so I sent out a tweet saying, that like criticizing the Cool Cats team for shutting down Baby Cool Cats and saying, I wish that someone would create a set of baby wizards. And then the folks here, Acid, who was up on stage, and Bill Gaines, and some of their team put together this baby wizards collection. And I think I don't know if that was the first Wizards derivative, but it's up. It probably was, and from there we've had derivative collections from the ponies and the Cucum Dog Heroes, and so I just see, like, when someone is building on top of your project, I don't see it as competitive. I see it as like growing the ecosystem in a deep way. So the lights, is by a community member who's revealed themselves to me, but I have to, keep the secret. And so I can tell you that they're talented. I don't know what their plans are exactly for the project, but I can tell you that some of the ideas they've been putting out are very interesting, both for lights, both for shadows, and maybe even some other communities in the ordinal space. I expect to see actually some innovative things come out of that project that are even new for the ordinals space. But it's not like a magic machine project exactly. So I think that they're going to do a mint. I think they've said that. I think they said their supply is going to be 777. I don't want to. Well, I don't want to reveal any of their roadmap, but I would just say that, like, I'm very interested in some of the stuff that they've told me that they're doing, and I think the even more than Forgotten Runes will like it.
That's really cool. No, I appreciate that breakdown and the context. That's amazing that you guys have that lens, to have it as more of an open synergy to help uplift overall. So that's great. And also to appreciate the breakdown and summary of the Farcaster, because I've been seeing it for a while the past couple weeks and I haven't had time to really dive in. And I know it's been around for over a year, I think, now at this point. And yeah, no, appreciate everything you guys do. You guys are a solid team and much respect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dotta.
Thanks, Keegan.
Yeah, Dotta, speaking of the lights, just real quick, and maybe you're not allowed to say anything, but is there any benefit to shadow holders that might come from the lights?
Yeah, there should be. I'm not in any way in control of it, but I could just say that, like, some of the plans that have been shared for me will probably benefit shadow holders. I think that's part of the dynamic right here of they're planning on playing off this dynamic of lights versus shadows, who will win. And so that means shadows are participating because they want to.
Okay.
So, but I don't have, I'm not writing the code, and I'm not, like, they have to do the work.
Yep.
So we'll see, I guess.
Okay, cool. All right. Hello, Sharon.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, man.
Hi.
We're
Hi.
good.
We're good.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thanks.
Sharon, when they were asking earlier who everyone would send Valentine's to, I was thinking I would send one to you.
There you go.
Oh, you're so sweet, because
Oh,
I was
yeah.
thinking I would send one to you.
Oh my gosh.
This is a freaking love fest on stage, people.
It is.
Well, it is Valentine's Day.
It is Valentine's Day. I also want to just say that if we're going to get back into lore reading, I know there's people out there who are too nervous to read their lore on Wizard Wednesday, and I have read other people's lore. So if you would like your lore read of something you wrote and you don't want to read it, just let me know and I'd be happy to read it. And I can't speak for him, but I know SPZ has read other people's lore on Wizard Wednesday too. So just want to throw that out. If we're getting back into it, that I'd be happy to help anybody out.
Love it.
All right, here we go. So here we are. This is a bedtime story I read about 2 years ago. And here he Bedtime Stories with Galatea and Litho. And it's called Real Friends. Inside of the pouch, Litho could barely hear the stick being dragged as it formed a trench into the dirt. He mouthed the words Galatea recited as she walked. Rise up high, from earth to sky, protect all that dwell on the inside. When the end of the trench met the beginning, Galatea headed towards the shade of a large oak tree. Opening her pouch, a head popped out. Hello, Litho. Hello, right back at you. I'm so hungry. Where's the bugs? Picking up her bullfrog, Galatea said, See that marshy area over there? I'm sure it's full of slimy, crawly things. Sit me down, please. My tummy is rumbly. Galatea set Litho on the ground. He stretched out his front legs as far as they would go, and then did the same with his back legs. Ooh, that feels so good after a long nap. Litho faced the marsh and took one hop forward, turned around and winked. Then he continued on his way as he danced and sang. Boom, 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 slurp them down. Boom, 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 squishy and rum. Boom, 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 wings or feet. They are a treat. Boom, 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 boom. Bugs are yummy. Boom, 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 boom. Bugs are sweet. Tasty, tasty, tasty treats. Mm-hmm. Don't you bring back any of those nasty crawly things. Galatea called after him. Litho kept hopping forward until he disappeared into some tall weeds. Galatea went over to a grassless area and began to move rocks into a circle. A half hour later, she headed to the fire pit with her arms full of wood when she heard, Help! Help! Galatea dropped the wood and ran. Her face became red and her eyes scanned from left to right. Litho! Litho, where are you? Reaching the weeds, she stopped and listened. The only sound was her heart pounding. Even the songbirds were nowhere to be seen. Litho! Litho! She shouted. Galatea carefully walked through some tall grass and called again for her friend. Litho, where are you? She went a few more steps deeper into the marsh and found an area of open water. A red hawk was sitting on top of a log that was halfway stuck in the mud. The bird was hunched over, staring downward. It was here she saw Litho curled up underneath it. Only his eyes were sticking out of the water. Noticing Galatea, his eyeballs got bigger. Galatea quickly raised her left hand and blurted out, Raise up water! A single wave rose up above the hawk. The bird turned its head and glared at her. She leaned forward and moved her hand up higher. The wave moved upwards. Letting out a piercing scream, the hawk flew away. Galatea released her hand and called out, Litho, everything's okay. Come out. I made the hawk leave. The bullfrog lifted his head out of the water and looked around. Are you sure it's okay? He asked. Yes, I am sorry that happened to you. The hawk must have been in here before I cast my protection spell. He left and he won't be able to fly back in. The frog slowly climbed out while checking his surroundings. He sat on top of the log for a long moment and then hopped over to Galatea. Are you okay? Yes, good thing I am fast. I was almost a snack. What happened? I was sitting by the water and a muskrat appeared. He said, Hello, friend, welcome. He asked if I knew the best place for catching bugs, and I told him I didn't. Then the muskrat said I should sit on that log. I thanked him and I jumped. When I went to ask his name, he was gone. I saw a large shadow and I realized the hawk was coming at me. I yelled for you as I hopped into the water. Oh, I'm thankful I heard you and I could get here in time. replied Galatea. I thought it was weird that the muskrat left because he said we were friends. I think he wanted me to sit here on purpose. I agree, said Galatea. She picked Litho up until they were face to face. Several tears escaped from his eyes. I promise always to take good care of you, Litho. You're going to stay close to me tonight. You can eat whatever bugs you find right here under rocks or the wood pile as I build the campfire. Okay, I would like that. Later, when the crickets started to sing their night song, Galatea snapped her fingers at the wood and recited, Flames ignite, burn for warmth, smoke twist and turn until rings are formed. The smoke rose up into whispery circles and floated in all directions. Litho spied a moth flying towards the campfire. When it went through the center of a smoke ring, his tongue zipped it. Oh, one of my favorite games, Bullseye the Bugs. Have fun tonight, you silly frog, Galatea replied, while opening her bedroll and sitting down. After a while, Litho went over and snuggled next to her. Galatea, how can you tell if someone's a friend or not? That is a good question, Litho. Sometimes it's hard to tell. The muskrat you talked to today was a fake friend. He only wanted to get you into trouble. He didn't really want to help you. Well, why would he do that? We probably never know. Maybe he didn't want to share the marsh with anyone. Maybe he just wanted to see you get eaten. Litho, real friends try to find ways to take care of you, get you out of trouble, or cheer you up. Real friends find ways to make you happy. You told me Midas is your friend. How do you know he's a real friend? Let me think. I know when I have asked Midas for help, it makes me happy to see him hopping over. When my brothers and sisters moved away, I cried. Midas came over to see how I was. He made jokes to make me laugh. When he did that, it made me feel special. Litho, that's because Midas is a real friend. He's there for you in good times and bad. What if sometimes Midas is too busy to help when you ask him? Well, he'll just tell me, and I will understand because he helps me all the other times. What about Bloody? Oh, I don't know. Everybody's afraid of Bloody. He's a red frog who was born with fangs and sucks the blood of his prey. Are you afraid of Bloody? Asked Galatea. No, I'm not. Why? Bloody saved my life once. I almost got eaten by a black water snake. Bloody attacked it and bit it with his fangs. He noticed I was upset, and he invited me to sit with him at the end of his pond. And after that, whenever I hop by, I wave. Sometimes I stop for a visit. We have things that aren't the same, like we both get our feelings hurt easily. Would you say that Bloody is a real friend? Asked Galatea. Yes, I would. Oh, I get it. Everyone should not be judgy because you might be wrong about someone. Litho, you don't get to decide how others feel, but you can improve on how you feel and how you act. Galatea, I like real friends. Yes, I totally agree, Litho. Did you know that you can tell if someone is smart? Because it takes brain power. It takes thought and effort to give compliments and be nice. It takes no brain power to hurt someone's feelings. Ooh, then I am super smart. Yes, you are. Oh, and so are you. It's time for me to go to sleep. Good night, Lizzo. Good night, Galatea, he replied as he hopped to the front of her bedroll and watched the smoke rings. All was quiet until softly, boom, 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 slurp them down, boom, 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 squishy and round, boom, 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 wings or feet, they are a treat. Mm-hmm. The following wizard friends allowed me to use their familiars in this story. Cal, 8721, Archmagician Plumlow of the Bastion, and his familiar, a golden toad named Midas. Panico, 3930, Battle Mage Draco of the Obelisk, and his familiar, an Ember Frog named Bloody. Thanks for listening.
Bum, 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 squish, showdown, bum, 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 bum.
Sharon, you're the best. You're literally the best.
That was
Thank you.
incredible. The voices, the delivery.
Thank you.
If I didn't have 200 things on my to-do list, I would animate the Toad song, or Litho's Frog song. It's so much fun, and it like nobody can sing it but you. It has to be sung in that voice.
Well, thank you.
I'm just wondering, when are you going to submit a proposal to the DAO to write a children's book?
I don't know.
Well, well, think about it, and I'm sure that everybody here will vote yes.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, please come back anytime. I always love hearing Litho and Galatea. So that was everyone's bedtime story. I'm sure you'll all be able to sleep tightly now.
Thank you so much. My cheeks hurt whenever you come on from just smiling so
Oh,
much.
you're so sweet. Yeah. Thank you.
Same. I agree.
Yeah, Sharon's stories are the best. I've never been able to be on stage to say it, but my God, like every time she comes on, it's such a treat. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. All right. Anything else from anybody on stage?
I don't think so.
I'm
I'm
good.
good.
All right. In that case, this has been Elf, Dotta, Bear, Jitsi, Tad, Acid Eater, Sharon, Keegan, Galatea, and Litho the Frog, channeling out from the Quantum Downs. GN, everybody.